Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Yesterday was a rest day in Tata Steel, and today the players came for round 6. And they were on fire. This was the tightest round yet. It produced very few decisive results, and I'll share that with you later. But first, I've got two incredible games to show you. Just the two today. I'm not good enough to analyze the rest, but nothing too important happened in those. I will give you an update on the standings at the very end. So, with that said, I'm going to put my microphone down to a normal position, and then we'll have a look at our first game, the game you really want to see, Gukesh versus Nordibek Abdusatorov. So we've got Nordibek and we've got Gukesh. Nordibek, who's been basically unstoppable this tournament, and Gukesh, who's yet to lose a game as world champion. We get e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, and bishop to c4, the Italian opening. Black here has a couple of moves. You can play bishop to e7, bishop to c5, and the knight coming out. That's about it. Those are your main three options. There's a couple of others, but they don't really get played. So we get bishop to c5, the Gioco Piano, and we get this incredible move from Nordibek, who seems to have done, I don't know, gone to an opening camp or something. He's busting out these moves at an insane rate. Most people here would have played c3, d4, or castled, or, d3. Nope, a4. We bring the knight out, d3, d6, a5. Black gives a check, we block, we trade, and castles. Castles, knight retreats. We've seen this maneuver before in Italian and Roy Lopez positions. You rotate your knight to the edge of the board to help defend the king and attack the opponent's king, because it's the same side castling. So, c3, knight to g6, rook e1, h6, d4. You're getting everything you want, but normally black has a dark squared bishop here. Very strange, but we've traded off the dark squared bishops. Knight to h7, rook e3. I don't know. Knight comes out, we trade, and we play g3. Very committal move. Obviously, you could do this, but the rook is protecting that square. My natural instinct would be to bring the rook here. Knight to f3 is a good move. You attack the queen. You can play bishop f1 is a move to protect this. g3 is not a horrible move though. g3 just looks unnatural to me. h4. Now Magnus Carlsen was on the game at this time, and he's like, you don't play h4 in a blitz game because you think queen takes rook wins the game. Because think about it, you can't take back because I take here, and then I'm up the exchange. But there's this incredible move, queen to c2, and the black queen is trapped. In a classical game, though, after h4, shock horror, Nordibek and Gukesh, the world champion, finds the best move, queen to h5. Now we get queen to b3, targeting the pawn. It's still protected, but you can't move the rook. Rook to b8, knight f1, and this knight goes back. It's like, I did a job here. There's not much happening here. I'm going back this way to maybe try and fight for the center and break through. I drew lots of arrows there. We kick out the bishop. Bishop retreats. We attack the queen. Queen slides over. And we take in the center. Move to just clarify things. White's position looks a bit scattered. They've committed these pawns in front of the king. But they've actually got a decent position. And they're up 15 minutes on the clock. Rook to d1. Attacking the bishop. The bishop moves. Attacks the queen. Queen slides up. Still keeping pressure on the pawn, so you cannot move this rook. The knight jumps across. And here, the fulfillment after, what was it, move 4, a4, a5, now a6, cracking at this. You might say, why can't you take? Well, you ruin your pawn structure. So you've got to do this, and then this pawn becomes a weakness. So instead we play bishop to c8. Because of course not. Of course not. Of course we play that. Now white attacks the queen, queen slides over. We attack the queen again, and it gets booted. How does a grandmaster play like this? This is incredible, that you can play chess like this and be 0.8, almost winning, almost +1 against the world champion. We attack the queen again. This whole game has been attacking Gukesh's queen. Queen slides down. And now we maneuver. We look to create more weaknesses, as black cannot defend all the threats, it seems. So eventually we take, and now rook to e3, just protecting this pawn. Don't know if you noticed, the bishop was attacking it. Anyway, now we attack the queen again, and now we go here. It was Nordjebek's turn to have his queen attacked, knight to b7. Very strange move, fianchettoed knight, I guess. b4, knight rotates here, very nice, hitting both pawns. Well, hitting the pawn and the bishop. The bishop slides forward, offering an exchange, and we take with the rook. There's a couple of ways to take it. Rook takes d5 is the best move. Everything else is slightly better for black. Queen pins the rook to the queen, but we can now protect our queen. So when you kick the rook away, we can go here and trade the queens. And this position is very level now. We're down to 2 rooks and a knight versus 2 rooks and a knight. Material is equal. The players have 16 minutes and 13 minutes respectively, so somebody is going to do something stupid, or these two players are going to get into a draw. Rook c8, rook fc8, which looks deranged to me, but anyway. Knight to h4. We strike now at the white structure, trying to create weaknesses. We get this. Now this is a weakness, that is a weakness. In fairness, black does have that weakness, and that one. So both sides have got multiple weaknesses, so we trade off these pawns, and now it's probably going to be a draw. Rook d7, knight retreats, we take in the center, we get here to target the rook. When the rook moves, we go here. And the pawn on e4 will fall, if not also the pawn that went way too far on h5. But ladies and gentlemen, the position is +1. The position is +1. It is better for white. White's up a pawn currently. We go here to protect this. The knight gets kicked away. Well, not kicked away, it's still protected. The king slid over, which was a mistake, because now you can take this with check, and the knight can retreat, even though you can give a check, it's fine. It's now +2. Nordjebek Abdusattorov, when they get to time control, is winning against the chess world champion. Rook c3, the knight jumps forward. We attack the knight again. Remember, it is the only defender of that rook currently, so if you are able to snag it, you will also grab this rook. So we grab the pawn and give up the knight. But now we can go here, and the black king is in big trouble. So it slides over, attacking the rook, and now we go here. We attack the knight and the rook. Knight grabs the pawn, so we give the exchange. Look at this. You could have just done this, but this is a draw. We find this to pin the knight to the rook. Sorry, I shouldn't be clicking the rook. So when the rook goes here offering the exchange, what we just do is take on h6. White now has 3 pawns for a knight with a knight hanging, so the knight will move. It does. White is completely winning. Rook c6, attacking the knight. We attack the knight again. We don't rush into this exchange, because this is a draw. You can still blunder a draw here. So we don't take the rook, we keep attacking the knight, we give a check, give another check, and here, a fatal mistake by Gukesh, not Gukesh, by Nordjebek. The computer gives it as a blunder, rook e8, because they miss. He misses knight e6. Cold and calculated by the world champion. You can push this pawn through, but we go here, and there's nothing to be had. We check the king, and they repeat moves and make a draw. Gukesh survives. He is still undefeated as the chess world champion. Nordjebek, a massive miss, but he's still having an amazing tournament. And the second game I'm going to show you is between 2 players. One of them had a very good result in their last game, Vladimir Fedoseev. He defeated Fabiano Caruana. And that has spoiled the game for you, but hey, you got this far ahead. Alexei Sarana, Vladimir Fedoseev, was d4, d5, c4. And we're getting this, again, like, I don't understand why this move order, and why not include the knight first. Anyway, rant over, takes, we get an exchange Queen's Gambit declined, where the players develop moves. They do nothing for a period of time here. We offer a queen trade, we continue to offer a queen trade, we trade bishop for knight, which is an interesting move, and castles, And here black is slightly better because you've traded bishop for knight. You've got this strong pawn here. It is a bit, can be targeted. This knight though is going to plonk itself nicely on d3. Castles, queen slides over, the bishop retreats, so it doesn't want to get hit, with various knight to g3s. And after the bishop retreats, we can now play f5. Knight to f4. Bishop retreats again. You've got two bishops. You want to keep that advantage. We kick out the knight. And it has to go to this really stupid square. Because you also don't want to go here. Because we've got knight f takes d5 and cd5. And this structure looks very good. But we've got queen a4 and the pawns can become very weak. You're going to have to put your bishop there or something like that. This pawn can be a weakness. White now can fight on the open c-file. It's a bit much. So a3 kicking out the knight. You've got to go back. And we play b4, just building. Trying to repel those bishops. And now we can strike in the center because we've got two well-placed knights. We bring the black knight back, but takes. Now the black pawn structure is ruined. And queen to c2. We offer an exchange of knights. Hit the queen, take, and we trade queens. And this position is 0.8. It is better for white. It is better for white, despite the fact that you've got two bishops, because what are they doing? They can't see anything. These pawns prevent the light squared bishop really from maneuvering anywhere. I suppose it can go there as an outpost, which would attack the rook, but then you're blocking your own c-file. This bishop is just staring into a wall. You would have to strike at it to try and open something up. So white has got better play for the moment. So we can infiltrate with the rook. We can, after queen c8. None of this happened, by the way. This was a whole computer line. My apologies. We went here. The pawn got pushed forward. Rook slides over, takes. Knight jumps forward because it was attacked and you don't want to take. Sorry about that. Knight jumps forward and the bishop here. A blunder because of knight to c5. You should have played knight to c5. Knight to c5 was the better move, the better piece to move to that square. You attack the queen and the queen doesn't have much to go. You can take this pawn, but then you blunder some discoveries. So bishop to c5 takes, knight takes. We attack the rook, rook slides up, and now white is in serious problems. My apologies. It's very late. It's not a good excuse. I'm trying to give you guys a recap of what happened at Tata Steel, but it is very late here. I've had a busy day. So we take the rook. Now the knight gets disconnected. We bring the rook back, and now it falls. So material balance is restored, but white is just winning. The black pieces are being repelled at every point. This pawn is now 2 squares away from queening. Now we're threatening a fork. But not really. As we go here, you can attack the queen. Nice idea. But queen just takes b5. You grab the bishop, we trade queens, and we push the pawn. And we queen. And now we have got a rook up in exchange. And Alexei Serrano will win this with some ease in the end. He gives a couple of checks. He brings in both rooks. Eventually the pieces will all fall off the board. And that is just what they do. And Vladimir Fedoseev resigns the game. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, you will have to give me just a moment as we look at the standings of Tata Steel. Overview. Standings. I hope you can see this all. Can you see this? Is this page good for you? No, it's not. So I need to crop it. So just give me a moment to crop it. I will now pause the video and we'll have an edit. And we're back after the edit. So you can see from the live table that Tata Steel is being led by Notabek Abdusatorov. He has got 4.5 points. He is tied for the lead with Pragdananda Ramesh Babu, who's also got 4. We've got Gukesh in third place, but second by himself, effectively, if you take the first 2 as number 1, with 4 points. We've got 3 players on 3.5, that being Alexei Serrano, Vladimir Fedoseev, and Pentala Harikrishna. We've got a couple of players then on 3 with Wei, Fabiano Caruana, and Vincent Keimer. Anish Giri on 2.5, 2 points each for Jordan Van Forest and Max Avamadan, and 1.5 points, shockingly, for Arjun Erigaisi, who was one of the 2 2800s in this event. Arjun is 2801 when he started, and Fabiano Caruana is 2803. Arjun is a half out of 6. 1.5 out of 6 rather, and then Leon Luc Mendonca 1.5. So Noordebek and Prague doing extremely well. All the other games today did end in draws. You can see all the draws over there. Yeah, so an incredible event today with all the plays that we saw. Knight to e6, the incredible find by Gukesh means Noordebek doesn't win and go into the sole lead, and Gukesh keeps chasing them. So we're in for an incredible few rounds before the next, rest day, but the event as well. We've got 13 rounds, so we're entering halfway tomorrow, and it is such an exciting event. I hope you're enjoying these recaps. Let me know. I know today was terrible. Bear with me. I promise tomorrow will be better, hopefully. And enjoy Tata Steel. That's all from me. Cheers.